The protests against the Citizenship Amendment Act and National Register of Citizens continues with no sign of any letter. As India stands on the brink of a full-blown riot, it's high time to separate the grain from the chaff, separate information from misinformation. Here's what the Act does and does not do in 6 simple questions. Is the law hostile towards Indian Muslims? First and foremost, not one person who is a citizen of India will lose their citizenship irrespective of their religious affiliation. Neither does the Act deprive anyone of their existing citizenship, nor does it give carte blanche permission for all religious minorities from South Asia to move to India and claim citizenship. So then, will the Citizenship Act open the floodgates for minorities from South Asia to make a beeline for India? The answer is no. It's not as if some Hindu could get on a plane from Dhaka or Karachi or Kabul and land in Kolkata, Mumbai or Delhi and claim citizenship from the immigration officer. The cutoff date has been earmarked as December 31st, 2014, and the refugee has to prove their entry before this date and that they moved here to flee religious persecution. They further have to show that they have lived in India for 5 years in addition to meeting the other requirements of Schedule 3 to the Citizenship Act 1955. Only that makes them eligible to apply, and it's still up to the government whether to grant them the citizenship or not. Why was there a need for NRC? NRC is needed as the country has a right to determine who should reside within her border. Had successive governments since independence maintained a national register of citizens, there wouldn't have been any need to conduct the NRC today. In 1971, when East Pakistan was falling apart due to genocide by Pakistani soldiers, refugees crossed over the porous border to seek shelter in Assam. India took them in and gave them protection. But the official policy was that all these refugees were to go back. But successive governments in Bangladesh after the liberation refused to take them back. Assamese people view the presence of illegal immigrants as a threat against their identity and culture. These migrants are also a drain on our infrastructure and public services and bring with them an economic cost. How does India's policy differentiate between refugee and illegal immigrants? For a refugee, we offer protection, while for an illegal immigrant, we only offer deportation. Non-citizens live here at the pleasure of the central government. Those who enter without the permission of the central government are criminals who ought to be sent back forthwith. But refugees are not criminals. They are people fleeing persecution, and we must not treat them as criminals. There is, however, no path currently for long-term refugees in India to obtain Indian citizenship, which means in many cases, their children who are born on Indian soil are also not eligible for Indian citizenship. The situation with refugees in India is one that has been pending since independence. The Act is one targeted measure to ensure that this situation is resolved. Why does the Citizenship Amendment Act only talk about persecuted religious minorities while shutting doors for Muslims in South Asia? The Act only allows persecuted Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, Jains, Parsis or Christians from Afghanistan, Pakistan or Bangladesh to seek citizenship in India, as they are a minority in those countries. In the countries listed in the Act, the state religion is Islam, and so the basic idea of religious persecution doesn't apply to Muslims, as it's not of a permanent nature. But India will still look into such issues on a case-by-case basis. As for the Rohingyas, Burma claims they migrated from an area which is under Bangladesh, and hence, India wants the issue to be solved amicably between the two countries. Those Rohingyas right now in India cannot apply for citizenship. Has India changed its position from sheltering the persecuted ones to base its policy on religious lines? Refugees who don't qualify for citizenship, irrespective of their religion, continue to remain protected by India's ad hoc refugee policy, where they are issued long-term stay visas in India. It applies to people from Afghanistan, mainly Muslims, who fled from the Taliban, people from Sri Lanka and Burma.